Hello everyone, Positron taking a quick look at Double Dragon 4. This just came out the other day from Arc System Works. They're kind of bringing back Double Dragon. This plays very, very much like Double Dragon 2. They gave me a code, so I thought I would show it off a little bit here. Got a bit of a story thing. I can't show off the whole game, so I thought I would just do a quick look here. We have normal and retro. I obviously have the retro on right now. We'll go with normal for now, actually, just so you can hear some of the new music. It's pretty solid stuff. I will show off a little bit of the gameplay. I've unlocked a bunch of characters from beating the game and then progressing through tower mode. Tower mode is kind of a like a survival mode. You get one life. And I'll talk a little bit about the game here. So we have a little bit of a story here. Billy and Jimmy are setting up dojos after their defeat of the Shadow Clan, I believe it was. The Shadow Warriors and the Black Warriors from Double Dragon 1. This takes place after 2, which is a little confusing with a story beat later because I thought the character was deceased and they show up again. And we get this car coming up and we have been sidelined here. So, very, very standard. I mean, this plays very, very, very similar to Double Dragon 2. To the point where it's actually one of my gripes with the game. There's some really good stuff here, and there's some stuff I'm not super keen on. You got weapons, we can pick up rocks and things like that. Kind of standard fare. You have your punches, you have your kicks. You can either do the punch and kick to jump, or you can just map a button to it. Mapping a button to it, I mean, is obviously something that as a kid we couldn't do without special controllers. Definitely helps quite a bit for flow. There's also 3 special buttons, so you can map. They're unlabeled, but I'm assuming they're button combinations. I don't know what the button combinations are, but we have this this flying kick, we got this headbutt, and we got this reverse elbow. Unlike Double Dragon 2, there's no switching controls like. Punch and kick are always punch and kick. It's not. Double Dragon 2 had a thing where it was like if you're facing left, it's punch, and if you're right, it's kick, and it was kind of a weird but combination that worked. Let me get some of these side-scrolling sections too, in addition to the other stuff here. You also have the hyper knee still in, and the super uppercut is still here also. If I can get that off here, there we go. Oh, not quite. Something interesting I noticed is you can combo this attack. Wow, I actually cannot hit this guy for some reason. There we go. You can combo that attack. For whatever reason, normally you can't hit enemies that are in the air, but you can combo this because when you land, it puts you in the crouch, and the crouch lets you immediately go into one of those abilities. There's a couple of odd sequences in the game like this, where it would seem like there's supposed to be enemies here. There's not. It's actually just a really long boat ride. And I'm not quite sure why. I can't move the character or anything like that. I'm not quite sure what's up with that. There's no difficulty settings. It's all one difficulty. Which I honestly feel like that's a little bit of a detriment to the game. The way the difficulty works in the game is most of the older enemies are very, very simple. This guy is obviously from Double Dragon 2, he's the first stage boss. But the issue I find is that the later enemies that become more difficult are only more difficult because they take off far too much of your health. My tower run actually got ended by one of the bosses showing up, and the boss one-shots you with a pistol. A very fast-moving projectile, very hard to dodge, and if it hits you, it does like 3/4 of your health, which is a little unfortunate because it feels kind of cheap. Yeah, so we get these little cutscenes in between to fill in on the story, and the new music's decent. Hopefully, you can hear it here. I've tried to balance the audio so it's good here. This is mission 2, I believe, or did we finish? I think we finished mission 1. There's 12 missions in the game total. Some are longer than others. You actually can continue, as you progress, you actually get a stage select on the title screen. It's not actually told to you anywhere, but if you press start, it lets you cycle through the stages, so you can continue if you do lose, which it's good and bad. The bad news is that I was able to beat this game in, I mean, maybe a couple hours tops. Because you're never like restarting your progress or anything. There's gonna be some enemies here, I think. Hear them. Yeah. Yeah, you're never gonna be restarting your progress completely. So the game is a little easy that way. In fact, the only thing that really cost me to lose a lot of continues and lives, short of, that's gonna kill me. That's a perfect example. Falling to your death is easily the biggest loss of life in the game. Which is unfortunate because it feels a little cheap in that aspect. There's one stage in particular, and maybe I'll show off a little bit of it, if I can remember which stage it is, that there's some crazy platforming sections, almost reminiscent of the temple stage in Double Dragon 2, that there's invisible platforms that disappear, and things that just knock you off, and it's just instant death every time. And that's kind of frustrating because it doesn't feel like, you know, you're playing poorly. It just feels like the game has decided, yeah, you're gonna die this time, and that's unfortunate. So, you know, that leads me to how do I feel about the game as a whole. I don't know. I don't dislike it, but I feel like it's not as polished as it could have been. There's a lack of resolution options, I know for sure. People were talking about that. You can full screen. I'm actually playing in a window right now just for easy recording, but you can full screen and just have to Alt-Enter. Which means I think you have to Alt-F4 to actually exit the game, which is a little weird. So that's 2 missions down. Guy must be Jake. Jumped on top of the speeding truck. I mean, it's, you know, it's kind of, it's cheeky. You know, it's a little goofy action movie-esque. It definitely adheres to the old game that way, which I appreciate. This combo that I'm doing a lot, that you'll probably see, if I can get myself out of this situation here. That's another thing too. You saw that guy hit me, but he's not actually on the same level as me. Enemies can hit you when they're not on the same plane as you, but you can't hit them. I don't know if that's a conscious decision or a mistake, but some of the later enemies really exploit that. So this combo here is basically what you need to beat the game. If you can do that and you can time the spin jump at the peak of your jump, it's kind of all you need. And again, you know, to an extent that adheres very, very close to how, you know, the Double Dragon games have played. I think, however, that I would have preferred, even though Double Dragon 2, I mean, was my childhood. I mean, I love that game to death. Even now, I mean, I would go back and play it. It's a very fun game, and it was very cool for the time. But it's not overly complex. And I think the downside is that we had a much more complex system in Double Dragon 3, but that game also ended up being extremely difficult due to the result of only having one life. But you don't get any of those moves from Double Dragon 3, which had a much more robust move system than 2 did. Like, there's no dash here. You can't do the crazy flip throw, things like that. The Abobo's got a couple extra new moves too. But the same tactics that worked against them still do, except, you know, I mean, if they dash at you, you take a hit. There's not really a whole lot you can do there. But almost every enemy can be beaten in a cycle of waiting for them to kneel as they're getting up, do a spin kick, they'll stand up right into it. And that's, you know, that leads to unfortunate things. So let's exit out here. And I'll switch to the retro mode. And let me show off. What level is it that? Might take me a couple of tries here to find the level. I'm gonna skip over the story stuff too. Nope, it's not this level. Might be level 7 or 8, maybe? This might be the one. Yeah, I'm gonna do the start of this and see if this is the level where it's all the platforming is. This shows off, you know, a new background. It'll show off a couple of new enemies too. I think these karate guys were actually in 2, but I could be mistaken. They are some of the tougher enemies. They're very, very quick. They do quite a bit of damage. But most enemies are defeated with that combo. Let's see if this is the area I think it is. No, it's not. Unless it's out here. Man, I really want to show off this one section because it drives me crazy. I can kind of chain this here. It's not effective. Kind of the worst thing enemies can do is knock you down because you can get a free super as you come up. Weapons are actually pretty weak. Just knocked that guy through the other side of the wall there. Oh, no, I actually did. Oh no, there he is. Okay, that was weird. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I knocked him like around the outside there. Fortunately, it looks like it's got a failsafe there. Yeah, I don't think this is the area. And I don't want to show off too much here either. Controls are decent. It's a little stiff, but it's stiff in the same way the Double Dragon 2 was. I don't really hold that against it. It definitely felt weird at the start, but I feel like it's actually just perfectly accurate to any sort of sluggishness that Double Dragon 2 had. So I don't really fault them for that, to be honest. You also had that new move, kind of a weird one. I think I can throw this. Let's try it. Nope, I can't actually. Come on, buddy. Let's see where the elevator takes me. Oh! There's an Abobo in the elevator. Hey, buddy. Unfortunately, oh, he's already dead. Oh yes, this is the area. Okay, so this area is where I actually got, I think, did I get my first game over? It was close. But you got these disappearing platforms. If you jump on this while it's spinning, it instantly throws you back onto the spinning platform. Oh. Actually didn't realize you could sit on this side of it, so that's a little bit of a difference. Yeah, I'm in trouble here. But yeah, it'll throw you back on the spinning platform, or onto the disappearing platform, and you'll... Let's actually try that. So that's a life gone. And now I think I've got them out of sequence. I'm not gonna, yep, that's gonna be another life gone. So this is where I'm kind of like, you know, I feel like the platforming sections were the weakest parts of Double Dragon 2. So it's a really weird idea to bring them back. And then you just have to make a leap of faith jump here. So there's that section. It's not a major part of the game, but it does exist. And then I'll show off the tower here. In fact, I'll use a different character. You can't unlock the characters. They're mildly different. Some of them are just skin swaps. But stuff like, you know, Boa's got his own moves. And actually, I think most of them have their own moves. I believe even the ninja girl here has, like, shurikens she can use? Yeah. Oh, I have this crazy jump, too. This is actually really... Actually, don't know her attacks here. Oh, it looks like she's got a wake-up attack, too. She's got a similar... I'm actually not sure... Okay, if I do up and... Here we go. Yeah, up and kick will actually throw the shuriken there. It looks like I have a limited number. They do a lot of damage. She's also very quick. I think she might have a shorter health bar, though. This is basically for bragging rights and score attack. And unlocking more characters to use in different parts of the game. Well, her attacks are really weird. I mean, I would give them credit. It's actually kind of cool to play as the characters with their movesets. If you ever really wanted to play as a Bobo, well, now you can. And not just in a Bobo's Big Adventure. So yeah, I think I'll probably end after I do a little more of this tower thing here. Again, mixed feelings on the game. It's $7 on Steam. It also came out on PS4 and Xbox One. I think it's for the same price. It's not expensive, you know, and for that, I can kind of overlook some of the flaws. I wish it was more difficult in not cheap ways, I think is what it comes down to. You know, instant kills were easily 90% of my deaths, and that's kind of a bummer. I would like the fighting to be a little more difficult without being cheap. And these early floors of the tower aren't so bad. Like I said, I actually just ended up dying to a pistol shot on like floor 24 or something, I think. In fact, I haven't even taken any damage yet. These low-level enemies are pretty weak. I don't think I ever get shurikens back here. Maybe at certain checkpoints. I think you get a small health refill too, so that's probably also what's making it look like I'm not taking damage here. That was very poor play. Actually, just went right through him there. Oh, maybe that's not actually an attack. Maybe it's just like a dash? And as you get through different areas, you get the different music tracks pop in. I was actually trying to see if I could do a shuriken in midair. I don't think I can. It's kind of strange though, I haven't taken any damage yet. I'm assuming I'm just not taking a full bar and then it's refilling in between stages. But yeah, I'll have a link in the description here if you want to pick up the game for yourself. It's I can do a smoke bomb. Oh, there we go. There's some health going there. How do I do that? Oh, there we go. I don't know what that actually does for me. And I think really, one of the game's strengths would be playing it in, you know, these alternate character modes. I think that's kind of interesting. This enemy is definitely significantly harder to take out without Billy or Jimmy here. Yeah, I'm starting to lose some health. There's also a 2-player mode. It is, however, only local co-op, or local competitive. You can also do local co-op. There is no online. I would have liked to see that, but, you know, again, for a budget game, that's one of those things it's pretty expensive for development, so I can't really fault them there. I don't quite know what this smoke bomb does. Oh, I can do this kick into that. Okay. Maybe I'm starting to get a hang of this character now. I can't seem to combo it the same way I could the brothers, though. And as far as I know, there's no platforming or anything in the tower sequence. It's just this survival mode. Now, if I get shot by one of the pistol enemies, I will die instantly. I don't think they're coming up too soon. That's weird. Oh, okay. If I hold forward, it also throws it. It's very strange. This sumo guy is also one of the new enemies. I'm gonna show off a couple of his attacks here. Nope, nope, never mind. He has like a dash and things like that. Get rid of all of those. Actually, still do the animation. What that does? Am I immune while that's happening? Oh, it might stun enemies. I wonder if she's got a throw move too. Throwing's a little weird in this game. Grabbing them, it works the same way. You press towards them when they're hunched over, but it seems a little more finicky than previous games. Which is odd, because that's really the only control thing I think that feels different. Because like, you used to be able to just hold towards and you would get the grab on them, but now you have to actually go back to neutral and then hold towards to get it. I'm actually curious to know if I'll unlock more stuff. See if I can get these enemies just kind of finish me off here. They do kind of have reactive AI to an extent sometimes, so there we go. Yeah, let's see if I get any more unlocks from this. I don't think so, because I've gotten so many. Get the results screen. No new unlocks. But anyway, yeah, that's Double Dragon 4. Just came out, $7 on Steam, on PS4, on Xbox One. Again, mixed feelings. If you want to play some Double Dragon 2 with some new backgrounds and a few new enemies and stuff, like, I mean, this will do it. That, you know, it brings that back. It's cool for that. But I wish they'd done more for it. I wish they'd used the Double Dragon 3 mechanics a little more. The platforming sections I'm really not a fan of. But being able to play these different characters is cool. Music options are cool. And yeah, so that will be that. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click like. Helps out a bunch. Subscribe for more. Link in the description below for the game. And I will see you soon.